2024 is shaping to be one of the best, if not the best, year for extraction shooters. As you guys know here in the channel, we love this game mode, and I know a lot of people are dying and hoping that we get finally a game that lives up to all our expectations. This particular mode is set to be the next Battle Royale, and we are really excited to take you guys on this journey. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 5 different extraction shooters that not only look pretty good, but they look pretty amazing. All right, let's start off with the first one called Arc Raiders. Now, this game seems to be very promising as the people behind this game used to work in Battlefield games. So we know they have a really good formula when it comes to gameplay and game mechanics. Arc Raiders is an upcoming third-person PvP PvE extraction shooter that is set in a lethal future Earth where machines known as arcs are taking over. Now, one of the things we definitely love about Arc Raiders is the fact that it's going to be free to play. So there's not going to be any entry level payment that you need to make in order to try the game out. But as you guys know, when this actually comes to fruition, we know that microtransactions are always going to be there. As to what the extent of the microtransactions are, we currently don't know. We do know there's been a lot of alpha testing lately because there has been a ton of leaks regarding the game and people that have gotten a chance to play the game early. We do know that there is an upcoming beta that you could theoretically go to their website and join either the alpha or the beta to be able to play the game. I will leave a link down below in the description. So if you guys want to go ahead and try the alpha for this game, you could pretty much enlist and register to be able to be considered to join either the alpha or the beta. This game is set to be releasing in 2024. We're pretty excited so far. From what we've seen and stuff that we really can't say in the video, seem to be very promising and sets to be one of maybe the best extraction shooters coming this 2024. All right, the next game is Off the Grid. This one has us really excited because it has a couple twists and a couple elements of the extraction shooter genre. One interesting thing to note about this particular game is the fact that this game is being made by a person that does movies. So there is a big element when it comes to PvE, which we'll discuss in a little bit further in the video. And there is a big element that comes into PvP. The great thing about this game is that it's going to be free to play. Now, of course, like I said with the other games, you're going to have to worry about microtransactions, but this particular game has a feature known as NFTs, which that is a whole different subject for another video. But let's talk about what you're going to be doing if you decide to PvP. Basically, you're going to need to slash and bash your way through 150 players that are going to be found in the area. You're going to need to collect loot, you're going to need to trade items, and you're going to need to find augments for your character. Because in this world, you are a cyborg bionetic human who has different sets of limbs or augments that are going to make your playthrough through the game more enjoyable and make you just a little bit more OP. So your main objective is to find this loot so you can get these enhancements. But the great thing about this game, it's also the PvE element, because we are not only talking about Battle Royale, we're talking about Battle Royale and PvP to a whole different level. Because basically this game is going to feature an immersive 60 hours of a narrative campaign. You guys heard it correctly, 60 hours, which you will be taking part of as the Battle Royale rages on. So you're going to be doing your missions while there is people are playing Battle Royale. In the meantime, you're doing the missions and you guys can cross paths. And while you guys are crossing paths, it could be like, bro, I'm trying to do my mission. And then someone's going to be like, well, I don't really care. I'm PvPing. Now, one great thing about this game, once again, that it's free to play. We just got to be a little bit, precautious when it comes to microtransactions and NFTs. But we are really looking forward to this extraction shooter and can't wait to give you guys more information on weapons, characters, and all that good stuff. So you guys should definitely keep your eyes peeled for Off the Grid. All right, so the next game is called Delta Force. Now, once again, this game you are able to pre-register right now. There are almost over 500,000 people that have pre-registered or ready to play. Now, this particular extraction shooter is going to be very interesting because this is made by people who work on Call of Duty and worked on DMZ. So if you like DMZ, if you like Call of Duty, then this is definitely going to be up your alley. And the great thing about this particular game and extraction shooter is that the characters you're going to be playing have special perks and special abilities, and you're going to be able to pick from 4 different characters. I have videos on this game where I kind of detailed the different characters and what they do, so if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. But once again, another free-to-play game that will then allow you to play the game, and test it out without having to invest any money. So what exactly do you do here, guys? Well, there are different sets of options that you could do. There's a thing called Hazardous Operation, Havoc Warfare, and Black Hawk Down. Now, all of these different modes that you're able to participate in will have its own different sets of objects to complete. The main one, guys, of course, it's Hazard Operations, where you're going to have to make tactical decisions with your 3-man squad. You can only play up to 3-man squads. You're going to be able to choose your class, gear, maps, and routes to fly to adapt to different locations. You're going to have to resource hunt. Basically, you're going to have to find quests and use these quests to be able to find rare loot that you're going to need to exfil. Now, the big thing about this particular game is that once you find that rare loot, you got to exfil as quickly as you possibly can. But if you can't exfil, you will bump yourself into another player, because this is once again another PvP PvE game that if you don't reach the extraction point, you're pretty much going to get wiped by another squad. So really excited for this game. The thing to note on this game is that it's also releasing on mobile. So I don't know if it's going to have cross progression on mobile and also on PC and Xbox and PlayStation, but you will be able to play this game on mobile as well. The next one we have is Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. Now, this was set to release in 2023, but it got pushed to 2024. This one has had a couple of alpha beta tests, and so far the kind of information we've gotten is that the game is actually pretty solid. Now, one thing to note about this game, as prior to the other ones we talked about, they have been PvPE. This is actually a twist because this is mostly a PvE and P game. So there's going to be more E elements in the game than PvP. The Heartlands is basically a survival action shooter that is set in a mysterious rural town of Silver Creek. You're going to have to explore and complete missions by day and take on dynamically moving containments, enemy factions, and player squads at night. So this is a very interesting game and a different concept from the pretty much extraction shooters that we had. Basically, when you're playing this game, you're going to have 2 cycles. During the day, you're going to be doing all your PvEing. As far as we're able to exfil during the day, I don't know. But once the night hits, that is when you need to get ready to fight and get your guns pretty much geared up. So basically, you're going to have the whole day to get geared up. And as soon as night hits, you just got to be ready to fight. Think of like the Purge, right? Basically. And that is when you have to deal with enemy factions. And you also have to deal with other players. The Division is very well known for its game mode, the Dark Zone. And I think this is kind of taking a little bit of reference from that and putting it into the game where you are going to be PvPing when it's dark. But when there's light outside, you won't be doing PvPing. Of course, who have worked on the Division, which is a loot and shooter that is very well done. Granted, it's had its few hiccups, but we know that the fundamentals are there for this particular game. It's going to be free to play, going to have cross progression, and going to be available on all systems. So I'm really excited for this one. Can't wait to get my hands on it and definitely bring you guys some more information, because we're going to be getting closer to the release of this one pretty soon. So you guys should get ready for major content coming your way covering the Division, the Heartland. And guys, I have a bonus for you. Now, before we get into the bonus, we got to talk about one more game that recently got announced called Exoborne. This game is set to release in 2024. Another extraction shooter that's supposed to change the way you actually play games. And this is going to be very interesting because one of the interesting concepts about this particular game is that it's focused primarily on a lot of dynamic weather. What I mean by that is a quick statement that they said, have you ever had a gunfight in a tornado? Get ready to do something thrilling and unpredictable, as a lot of things could emerge from Mother Earth. Tornadoes, lightning strikes, and apocalyptic storms could be thrown at you while you're fighting. This is going to give you not only sometimes an advantage, but it will also give you a disadvantage. The great thing about this game, it's another PvP PvE game, as if it's free to play. We currently don't run it right now, but you're able to wishlist on Steam if you want to. The thing we do know is that it's going to be primarily focused on PvP. The trailer looks amazing. It looks pretty exciting. And there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be able to do, because you have a mech suit that allows you guys to do multiple stuff, which are the main bread and butter of the game. You're going to need to scavenge for items that you're going to need to exfil, and these items will help your character become more OP. You're going to need to craft, and you're going to need to basically fight to survive and make it out alive. The one cool, interesting about this particular game is that you are going to be doing all the crafting, all the building, all the setting up before you get into the match. So you could be just ready and focused on one thing, which is looting and staying alive and killing other players. This is definitely set to be a very fast-paced, slow-paced game where you're going to have to be very methodical on the way you approach it. So we are really excited for Exoborne. Now on to our bonus. For our bonus, we're going to be talking about PUBG because we recently got information a couple months ago that they are working on a project called Black Budget, and basically it's supposed to be an extraction shooter that is set to rival the Escape of Tarkov. As you guys already know, the top extraction shooter currently right now is Escape of Tarkov. Everybody's trying to replicate that formula because they have the formula set of perfect almost, but they're missing a core element that no one has been able to replicate, and that is making it casually friendly. No one has been able to replicate that because everybody has tried to make super casual friendlies and they failed, like DMZ. And then you have other hardcore games like Escape of Tarkov where the learning curve is so high that not enough people are jumping into the game. I think whatever game out of the ones we mentioned nails it right, we are going to have an amazing year for extraction shooters. If not, we're just going to have to wait for Bungie's marathon. But let me know, out of the ones I mentioned and talked about today, which one has you mostly excited and which one do you plan on playing as soon as you get your hands on it? If all of them drop at the same time, which one are you playing first? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.